Hello everyone, today I wanted to have a quick video with you to talk about the patch 0.11 that is going to be live very soon. I heard the dev talked a little bit and I read the patch and I wanted to summarize a little bit what it was going to happen. So overall, I think it's a great patch that is addressing a lot of problems that the game has right now, at least for endgame, and I'm feeling very comfortable with this. So the first one that they were talking about is the density of maps, and they're saying that they are going to increase the density of map of about 30%. I think this is good, especially for maps that do not have things such as Breach or Delirium that are artificially increasing the density of mob. That is going to help the comfort of the players, and I think overall it's really good. They are going to add different kind of map with the towers. This is also nice because they are at the moment very boring maps where you just trash a low tier map into them, so you can get on with it, put your Procure tablet and then move on with your search of something else. So having something a bit better is good, but I expect to have an in-depth change of towers to have something that it's worth playing through, it's worth having fun through, maybe having some unique bosses that you have like in Act 2 when you're doing the campaign. I believe right now it's really under exploited, the towers, and there is way better things to do than what it is used to do right now. They were saying that they are going to increase the map with boss, and they are going to put in the game tablets that are going to create boss in certain maps. I believe this is extremely positive because map boss usually are the ones that are providing the most rewards. So I really like doing map boss, especially that you can unlock the Atlas boss very easily, and that is increasing significantly the loot that you get from a map boss. So having map with boss I think is really good, and having more of them is good. The tablet with the boss, same thing, really good. They were saying that they are going to lower a little bit the cluttering on the floor and the effect that the visual effect. I think this is mostly cosmetic. Maybe it's going to be helpful in certain content such as Delirium, where I believe it's really messy. It's good, but it's not something amazing. Dezooming the map, this is the other things that I like really much. Is at the moment on the Atlas you really can't zoom out quite a lot, and sometimes you lost a little bit where you came from. So having the possibility to have another view of what you've done on the end game, it's pretty nice. They were reducing the load time of the map, which is not a big deal. They wanted to have more mobs on Delirium and more splinters, and I think this is important to note that they were talking about 20% more splinters. This is probably going to affect the economy. Having more splinters is going to be decreasing the price of splinters. So if you have splinters now, potentially selling them now, it's a good idea. And if you have the willingness to buy splinters, waiting a little bit is going to be also a good idea. They were saying that for the ritual, they want to increase the omen that you can find by 60% because it's quite rare. This is also good because omen right now are really rare if you're not running dedicated ritual. And they wanted to have rare object into the expedition that you can trade. I don't know how big this is for players. I personally don't really play expeditions. Now the next thing that I think is extremely interesting is the pinnacle content. Right now they are only talking about the Arbiter of Ashes, which is the final boss of the map that you get when you completed the 3 different citadels and you combine them to fight the Arbiter of Ash. They were saying that they want to have extra trials to try to defeat this kind of content, having 6 portals so you can try the boss, and then as you're increasing the difficulty you are going to have less and less attempts, but you should know the mechanic by them, which is I think very nice because overall the problem that I have right now and a lot of players have right now is that if you don't go and look for a boss mechanic video and you try those kind of bosses, the trial is about free divine and potentially get one shot by a certain mechanic. So it's a bit tedious and it's a bit underwhelming. So having more attempt for new players so they can experiment through the game and not going through certain guides, to not feel trapped into a content where they just have one shot, I think is good. They were saying that they want to implement that for the rest of the pinnacle bosses, such as the breaches, the ritual, etc. But this is going to come later on. Next fix that I think is extremely good for end game content is that Citadel are going to be seen from much further away, having a beacon light on the fog, which are going to highlight where this is. I think it's also good because for new player, when they're not aware of the Citadel, they will see this light and that is almost guiding them towards a goal, providing them a goal in endgame. It's really something that is lacking right now for players. So having this direction is probably going to help them. So Citadel, big win, having them seeing from very far away. They are looking to remove certain stats on rare items, so bad rolls are going to be less common and you are going to have better stats overall, so better chance to find a piece of gear that is going to significantly improve your character. They are going to make the runes that you engrave into your stuff replaceable, which is a massive win, because right now it feels a little bit bad that you have this piece of gear that is really good but you can't replace the rune, or maybe you put like a resistance rune of a certain type and then you change another piece and then it will be really good to replace it with another one and you can't. So this is really nice. They are looking into different nerf of bosses and monsters, so they are a little bit less hard. Something to filter the items on console. They are going to buff armor about 15% of the current efficiency, so this is also good. And the last but not least, they were saying that they don't want to touch the build balances right now. They want to wait for something such as they said, the first season, before the first season to touch this kind of balance. So I believe all the current builds are not going to be nerfed before the first season. So if you're playing something that you like, the chances that you will have the chance to finish this first season with the current build that you have, which I think is good right now, because changing the build too much, I think we see what happened initially when they nerf certain builds, feels a little bit bad. You have the feeling that certain people take advantage of it and you didn't really had the opportunity. So what is my opinion on this? I think overall it's extremely positive. They are addressing a lot of problem that there is right now with the end game, and I think the campaign right now is amazing, with a little meh that I'm going to explain after, but the campaign is amazing, but the problem is really on the end game. And to be fair, they spend, I think, like something like 5 years polishing the campaign, but the end game they didn't spend that much of a time. They say that they only spent 4 or 6 months working on the end game. So really you see that the end game is where they need to put the effort on right now, using all the good stuff that they did on the campaign. So everything that they are showing, I think, is really good. To me, the campaign, I think the difficulty is too difficult too soon, and that means that you are pulling off new players to enter and learn the game. And I would have liked to have something that is less hard, especially on normal difficulty, but maybe much harder in cruel difficulty. And the thing is that right now you start in normal, you have no build for the first character you do, you have no build, sometimes you have no clue about the game, and you get like those first boss and they destroy you. and that can feel like a wall that you have in games like Dark Souls and so on. And I don't know if for this kind of game it's great to have this kind of wall that soon. I think that the game is too hard at the beginning and too easy at the end, because usually you have the time to have your character that is completely deployed. You follow the guide, and now you have all the nice node, and it's synergized so well that the content, you are literally crushing the content. Right now with my character, I'm literally crushing the content. There is only one thing that I cannot do, which is a simulacrum. I'm working on it, but all the rest, I find it quite easy, versus the difficulty that I had through the Act 1 when I started the game. So I would have liked to have something that is more scaled through time, easier at the beginning, harder at the end, and I think they're not addressing this yet. The second thing is, I believe that the pinnacle content should really be multiple tries. It feels very frustrating in softcore to have just one attempt to those pinnacle content that sometimes cause multiple divine, and then if you fail it, you really have a bad feeling about that. I think if you want to have this kind of feeling, you go hardcore, and that's a choice, but putting into the softcore, I'm not a very big fan for those big pinnacle content where you need to have some trials. So I hope that these are going to be implemented as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. This is all I had for you today. If it helped you, please consider subscribing. This is going to help me a lot. As you see, it's a very young channel, and I see you on the next video.